Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you an updated skincare routine for both morning and evening, and then I'm also going to show you a few additional products after each demo, just that I like to sometimes rotate into the mix. Now if you are new here, special welcome to you. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button below, give this video a thumbs up, and now let's get started. So before we get started with my morning skincare routine, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my skin. I'm 44 years old, so I'm trying to do my best to keep the wrinkles at bay. I do have enlarged pores. I have oily to combination skin. In the summer, it veers more on the oily side, and then in the winter time, I can tend to get maybe just a few little dry flakes here and there, but it's not quite as oily through the T-zone. I also have super sensitive skin, so I have to be very careful, and a lot of things that work for other people don't work for me. Now, as we go through this, if you've seen either of my previous skincare routines, you are gonna see some repeated products, but that's just because they are that good. So let's go ahead and jump into my morning routine. All right, I'm fresh out of the shower. That's why my hair's up in a towel. And in the shower, I use the SIBU Cleansing Face and Body Bar to wash my face. This has sea buckthorn. It's a natural bacteria growth inhibitor. Also promotes tissue recovery, but it does not dry out the skin. I love it. Then I'm going to spritz my face with the ALAFFIA Everyday Coconut Face Toner. This has neem, coconut water, and papaya, and it's such a refreshing, wonderful toner. I will actually spritz my face several times once I get out of the shower. And then I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Plump and Prime Serum. You can tell I love this. This is my second bottle, by the way. I have repurchased. I do feel like this does a really good job of helping to plump up the skin. I have a full review, which I will link down below. And I just smooth this all over my skin, being careful to work in upward motions, just kind of to help encourage the skin to be lifted and not dragged down. Now this one you do need to put on, and once you've worked it in, you need to let it sit for 2 minutes on the skin at the minimum. But you can see it gives the skin just a very nice glow. And within 2 minutes, it kind of looks a little more plumped. Now I'm going to go in with eye cream. For the daytime, I just like a light one, so I'm using the ACURE Radically Rejuvenating Eye Cream. And this has chlorella and edelweiss extract for age performance, it says. It is a really nice one, inexpensive, all natural. I do just put this under the eyes in the daytime. I don't put this on my upper lids because I have super oily lids. But what I like to do is just gently pat this in just to kind of get it started. And then on days when I'm feeling a little extra tired or maybe a little puffy under the eyes, I use this steel ball tool. This is one from Real Techniques. There are also ones from Eco Tools that have a jade ball on the top. It's just really nice and cooling, and I just gently work that over the eye area to work the rest of that eye cream in. And it's amazing how this just kind of perks me up and makes me feel a little more awake. So I just pat the rest of that moisturizer in. And now we are ready to apply sunscreen. So this is Paula's Choice Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. I love this. It has antioxidants and resveratrol, and it has more of a matte finish. So when my skin's a little extra dry, I've been loving mixing it with this ELTA MD UV Elements, which has hyaluronic acid and is a little more moisturizing. It is also water resistant. Both of these are mineral sunscreens, and they are tinted, but the tint is slightly different. So the Paula's Choice is a little bit paler and more pink leaning, and the ELTA MD UV Elements one has a little more of a kind of yellow base to it. So I love the mix of these two, and it's kind of the perfect amount of moisturizer. So this is what I primarily use instead of doing moisturizer and sunscreen. I just like to have them all mixed in one, or in this case, I've combined the two, but one step basically. So I work all of this in. Both of these work beautifully under makeup, and they don't cause any extra oiliness or anything. So you can see my face is all primed and ready to go for the day. And I am ready now to apply makeup. Now, one additional cleanser that I have really enjoyed and found it was really good is the Fresh Soy Cleanser. I'll picture it here because I don't have it on hand. I've gone through 2 tubes of this. I received my first one, I think, in a BoxyLuxe box. And while I don't care for the scent of it at all, it really is a nice, soft, gentle, yet very effective cleanser, and it doesn't burn your eyes if you happen to get a little bit of the soap in them. Now, this time around, you saw me use a new serum, the Too Faced Plump and Prime. I do still really like the Now Solutions Hyaluronic Acid Firming Serum. I don't feel like this is quite as firming as the Too Faced one, but if you are looking for a budget-friendly alternative, this is a really good one. I've used this for years up until using the Too Faced one, and in fact, sometimes I'll still work this in. It really does a good job of just really prepping the skin, especially if I'm going to use maybe an oil, a face oil that day. I really feel like that kind of helps the oil absorb further into the skin. So if you want a cheaper alternative, the Now Solutions Hyaluronic Acid Firming Serum is a good one. Now, if you're looking for a moisturizer in addition to your sunscreen, one that I still love is by ACURE. This is the Brightening Day Cream. It smells like oranges. It's so refreshing, and it feels like it's going to be thick on the skin, but it actually absorbs very quickly. I just really have enjoyed this for years, and it's still one that I will occasionally pull into my routine. Now, for sunscreens, I have 2 additional ones I want to share with you that I will use if I'm not going to be wearing makeup for the day. The first one is the CeraVe Hydrating Sunscreen. This is the tinted version, SPF 30. This is a mineral sunscreen. It is a really beautiful, lovely formula, but with my kind of oily combination skin, this doesn't work too well for me under makeup because my skin tends to get really oily. I just bought my second tube of this because I love to put this on in the morning first thing when I go take my dog for a walk, and it does just give the face a really nice little bit of glow. But if you have drier skin, this would be a great option for you even under makeup. The other sunscreen that I do love, and again, it's one that typically I like to use on its own. It does work well under most makeup, but it is a very high silicone textured sunscreen. So that's not always a great mix with every foundation, but this is the Australian Gold Botanical Sunscreen Tinted. Now, this is SPF 50, and they now have a couple of different tints. So this was the original formula, which I think is now light. This is the medium to tan. So again, these are ones that I like to throw on sometimes in the morning if I'm going to go walk the dog, or if I'm not going to be wearing makeup. It does provide just a hint of a tint on the skin and just makes the skin look really nice and smooth, and also gives really good mineral-based sunscreen protection. And then the final 2 products for the morning that I will sometimes work in are these 2 boost products. Now, you can also work these in, I think, in your nighttime routine, but for me, if I'm going to use them, I use them in the morning. And this first one is 10% Azelaic Acid Booster. Now, what I have found this to be helpful for, this is definitely helpful for breakouts. And so I don't use this all the time, but I have found it to be really helpful for maskne, as they're calling it now. For me particularly, right here is where I will start to break out if I'm wearing a mask several days in a row with makeup on. And so what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of this. You can either apply it directly to the skin or mixed in with your moisturizer. So usually I'll kind of mix it in or apply it right before my sunscreen and just put it right under here. And I found it just really helps kind of keep the acne under control. So it has licorice and salicylic acid, so it just kind of helps the skin not break out so much and kind of keeps it a little bit drier. Now, the other one I like is the 10% Niacinamide Boost. So if you're looking for a way to add good B3 and B5 into something, these boost formulas are great. They have a vitamin C boost. They've got a lot of different boosts. So So I'm testing out a few, but because of my sensitive skin, I can't go crazy all at once and switch everything over. But I have enjoyed this, and again, I just mix a couple drops of this in with my moisturizer. All right, now let's move on to my nighttime skincare routine, and then I'll follow it up with a few additional products that I like to rotate in as well. All right, so things are about to get messy. Let's pull our hair back, and I am going to go in. I do a double cleanse, so I start off with an oil cleanser. This is the BareMinerals Oil Obsessed Total Cleansing Oil, and before you get too excited, it's been discontinued. However, BareMinerals has come up with a replacement. It is called the Smoothness Hydrating Cleansing Oil, and they say if you liked the Oil Obsessed, you'll like that one. So we'll take their word for it. But I love to do a double cleanse. You can see how this oil is just breaking down all of the makeup. And then what I love the most about this particular one is it rinses completely clean. Now, I've got a big mess on my face, but I'm going to now wash my face with the SIBU face and body cleansing bar, same one I use in the morning, and I am left with a pretty clean face, but my eye makeup, there's still a little bit there. So I do love that soap both morning and night. It does not over dry, but we need to remove this makeup. So now I go in with just plain old Dr. Bronner's Coconut Oil, and I'll talk more about this in a few minutes, but this is my secret to removing every last bit of mascara, any eyeshadow, eyeliner. You can just gently massage this all around the eyes into the lash line. Coconut oil is such a great lash moisturizer. So I just work this in the eyes. It doesn't burn my eyes or anything. And then I take a tissue and just gently, gently, gently press away all of the extra eye makeup. And then I go in and I wash my face one more time with the SIBU cleansing bar. Now tonight I'm going to show you the Dr. BRANDT Microdermabrasion Age Defying Exfoliator. I like to do this twice a week if I'm being really good, and I just apply a small amount to a damp face and massage this all over my skin for about a minute. And this has just kind of a gentle cooling sensation as you work it in. It is super fine grit of microdermabrasion crystals. This is just one of the best and most effective that I have found. I do have a couple of other ones that I love too, which I'll talk about in a few moments. But after rinsing that off, then I go back to the ALAFFIA Everyday Coconut Face Toner, mist my face, and it just feels so refreshing. Then I go in with the Paula's Choice 2% BHA Gel Exfoliant. Now this is something that helps exfoliate inside the pores. This doesn't help exfoliate the outer part of the skin. That's an AHA. I didn't know that for the longest time, but this helps keep my pores clear. And so I'm just working this in, and let's check on the dog. I've put him to sleep as I am doing my whole skincare routine. He's just gently laying there, watching, seeing what I do. He's like, yeah, I'm bored. Okay, I'll say hello. Now he's back to his nap. Okay, so now while that soaks in, I'm going to go in with the 100% pure Superfruit Oil Nourishing Eye Cream. This is nutrient dense. There are so many amazing things in this eye cream. It is, as the brand implies, 100% pure. It looks relatively thin, but this really packs a punch, and I apply this all the way around the eye area. Now, I do try to stay away from my lash line because through the night, your eye cream can seep down closer to your eyes. So I do stay away from the lashes, but I put it on my upper lids, and in the morning when I wash my face, I can tell there is still moisture there. So this is a really good one. I love it for nighttime because it's a little extra moisturizing. Now that BHA gel exfoliant has soaked in, I'm now going to go in with the Too Faced Plump and Prime Serum. And I have been experimenting with the order of these two items, and recently I have been doing this after the BHA gel, and I actually really like how my skin has felt. So I'm now working this in. Again, same thing that I did in the morning, just working it in upward strokes. And then you do need to let it soak in for another 2 minutes. So once that has soaked in, then it's time for my final step, and this is the Paula's Choice Barrier Repair Moisturizer with Retinol. This is a super gentle retinol moisturizer. It's a light lotion. It visibly firms skin and targets all signs of aging. I have really been enjoying this as an alternative to my previous retinol cream, but I use this nearly every night and I've had no irritation. I do feel like the combination of these skincare items have really kind of helped firm my skin, and it also keeps my skin from getting any flakiness. Last step for me is something for the lips. We can't ignore those. So I go in with the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is the apple lime flavor. I'm getting low on it. I'm going to go back to the berry one, but you can see I just slather on a very thick layer of this. And if you add enough by morning, your lips will still have some moisture there. And so here's how the skin looks, all clean, glowy, moisturized, and ready for sleep. Now, as you saw me reach into my little pot here of coconut oil, I just want to show you the brand that I really prefer. And I have tried several different ones, and I do think there's a quality difference and just a difference in the texture of it as well. So I love the Dr. Bronner's, they call it now Regenerative Organic Coconut Oil. This is virgin unrefined whole kernel, and I just feel like this one doesn't have those little tiny bits that a lot of coconut oils have. If you've ever used it, you know what I'm talking about. Even as it melts, it kind of gets those little granule feeling things. This one doesn't do that. And what I like to do is just put a little bit of it in here, because then I can keep this in my cupboard. I can use it for cooking, but I can also, with a clean knife or spoon, put some just in this little container. And then what helps is if you just whip it up in here, make sure it's kind of warm, not melted, but just kind of warm, whip it up, and then it maintains a much softer texture. So that helps it kind of melt into the skin a little bit better as you're trying to remove your eye makeup. Now onto eye cream. There are a couple of other eye creams that I have rotated in that I do enjoy. The first one is the Paula's Choice Anti-Aging Eye Cream. This is an interesting texture. It's pretty thick, and so you kind of have to smush it between your fingers. You're kind of thinking, there's something off. But once you start to work it into the skin, it does kind of melt in, and then it sinks in fairly quickly. But what I love is the next morning, it's the same true with this one. When I am washing my face, I feel that eye area feels like there is still lotion on there. So even though it soaks in, it's kind of like it creates a barrier and seals out the air, and I know it's still providing hydration through the nighttime. The other eye cream that I really do enjoy is the Thrive Cosmetics Defying Gravity. This one typically, though, I keep on my makeup table, and I'll use this maybe right before I apply my under eye concealer if my eyes are feeling particularly dry. It is a really nice one. The pump, you really only need about a half a pump for both eyes, so you just don't want to use too much of it, but it is also a very nice eye cream. All right, so as far as face moisturizers, one of my other all-time favorite moisturizers for nighttime with retinol in it is the Murad Youth Renewing Night Cream. I love that. I have purchased multiple jars of it, but it is more expensive than the Paula's Choice. So once I tried the Paula's Choice and I felt like that was doing pretty much the same thing, I did switch over to this one for now, but next time Ulta has a sale, I might switch back to that one. It is kind of good, I think, sometimes to kind of mix it up and go back and forth, but that one also I have had zero irritation with. It provides a good amount of moisture to the face, and with both of these, I find that I have very little flakiness on my face at all. So I think that is really good. It's showing you that it is doing its job and kind of turning over those cells on the face. The other moisturizer that I will use sometimes in place of all of my other nighttime serums, moisturizers, and everything, if I'm feeling like my skin is just a little extra irritated, or I did a deeper kind of cleanse or peel or something on my face and I just feel like I want to make sure that I don't irritate it, I will use the ACURE Seriously Soothing Cloud Cream, and it is really soothing. It is nice and cooling on the skin, and you can just like slather this on your face, and at first it's gonna kind of feel like, oh, I really want to, you know, blend it all in, and I'll blend it kind of like to about maybe that consistency, but you just let it soak into your face through the night, and it has a cooling sensation, and it really does provide a wonderful bit of hydration. This has argan extract and hyaluronic acid, and it says it's for normal to sensitive skin. So it has kind of a natural herbalish kind of scent. It's not my favorite, but it's not synthetic, and it does kind of dissipate. But I do love how this feels on my face. And again, if I'm feeling like my face is extra sensitive, or I was trying something new that didn't work so well, that's my go-to to kind of help calm my skin down. All right, and then lastly, I'm not going to get into all of my favorite masks, face masks, because I did do a video about those, and those are still my favorite. But I will just tell you a couple of alternatives to the Dr. BRANDT Microdermabrasion Exfoliator. Now, two others that I have really enjoyed and I still rotate in would be the Rodan & Fields Enhancements. This is the Microdermabrasion Paste. It does have a thicker grit to it, almost feels like larger granules of sugar or salt. So if you have super sensitive skin, you're going to want to wet your face first and go in. But otherwise, if you really want some good exfoliation, you can go in dry with this one. And then I've almost used this whole thing up. I'm down to maybe one more use. And I had forgotten all about this, and I started recently pulling it out because I'm like, I need to use up some of this stuff. This is Philosophy, and this is the Micro Delivery Peel. It's a two-part system. Now, this is a half of the regular size that is sold, and I got this in a kit one time when Ulta was doing a 50% off or something. So in basically 3 minutes, though, this works with vitamin C, peptides, and it is one of the best exfoliating experiences. Oh my goodness. When I finish this, I do plan to repurchase. So these are the vitamin C peptide resurfacing crystals, and then you activate them with this gel. It's a clear gel, and when they come in contact with each other, there's this kind of warming sensation. And so you rub that in for 2 minutes or 1 to 2 minutes. You can just let it sit if you have super sensitive skin. Rinse it off, and your skin feels baby soft and baby smooth. So again, another one that it is pricey, but it is going to last you a long time. This one they recommend just using once a week. The other two you could use 1 to 2 times a week. All right, so that finishes up kind of what I'm currently using. And then, as I mentioned, if you are interested in seeing my favorite masks that I use on my face, I will leave a link down below to that video. Now, additionally, if you are somebody who says, you know, I kind of want to do all natural skincare and I want to make my own skincare, I have several DIY blog posts that I will post down below. For several years, this was my skincare routine that I lived by, and it really helped kind of normalize my super oily, sensitive, kind of breakout prone skin. So I will leave those blog posts linked in the description box below if you're somebody who's interested in that. Every once in a while, I'll still pull in kind of it's the rose hip serum at nighttime. It's a really wonderful moisturizer that you can put on if you're feeling extra dry. So, but otherwise, I just wanted to kind of give you my current favorites because I am receiving some new skincare to try, and I kind of want to set the bar and say, okay, this is what my skin looks like now, and as I go forward and try new things, I'll have something to reference back to, and you all will as well. So you'll be able to tell me if some of the newer products that I'm going to be incorporating, whether they're actually doing anything or not. Thank you as always so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.